I was just playing, just jamming. Figured before I play a little before I turned the camera on, and I thought I'm playing Flying High. I don't listen to that song because I don't listen to hits really. Something about Flying High Again always bothered me. I don't know why. Could be Ozzy. No, I don't know what it is. But it was like, okay, and then, but I grew into it. I grew to like it. And so I would kind of like throw in bits of it, how I thought it went. And I'm close most of the time. There's no way I could play the song from beginning to end by memory with no drums, no bass, like everybody else has, you know, a track that they play along to, and everybody's like, listen how good they are. Dude, I could be that good too if I had my setup, but I don't have my setup. Go back in time to like 2016, 15, 16, 17, when I used to go between Burbank and Utah. When I was in Utah, I could take all the time I wanted. You could tell by the couch, sometimes it's black, sometimes it's this. And then I brought this down here from Utah, so you couldn't really tell which is which. And the things were changing. Like, I was here because I had to do work on the house, but nobody else was here, so I could jam a lot because nobody was here. Sometimes I'd have to go, pick my son up because he was usually going to college at this time. This was a while ago because he's 40 now, but he went to college a little late. He thought he was going to have a career in lighting. That's a whole other story that you probably don't care about. So anyways, I'm playing Flying High again. Boy, I get way off track fast, huh? And then I'm like, you know what? I'll listen to it. Beep. And I'm like, what? I go, I got some of it, but I don't have it. I go way off. I do my own thing. So you know what? I'm going to play whatever. I'm just going to start playing. I'm going to probably go into a little bit of what would be Flying High Again, but it's not going to be exact, and I'm not going to play it right, and blah, blah, blah. And if anybody wants to, nobody really says, a couple people say things. They encourage me, or they'll request something, like somebody requested a song, and I already forgot which one it was. Oh, it was a Black Sabbath song. It's yeah, there's no way I could figure that one out today. I could. Children of the Sea, I think someone said. Or Chicken of the Sea, which is tuna. Watch the Black Sabbath. Personally, to me, Tony Iommi would kill it. And Geezer is always good, so Geezer was Geezer. Always incredible. Tony Iommi had the most killer tone I've ever heard him have live. It just cut like a razor blade. It was beautiful. But then there's Ozzy, and he's sitting there, he's trying, and he's probably shot up with a bunch of, probably pulling an Elvis. Give me Doc, give me whatever I need, Doc. But the guy can't even stand, because they were going to try to get it to where he could stand, and he would have something to, brace himself, but he kept falling. So they're like, forget it, put him in the chair. And you could see sometimes he tried to get up. To me, it was kind of sad. Everybody thought, oh, dude, it was great. I was at the last Black Sabbath. No, I was at the last Black Sabbath show. When they were good in the 90s when Pantera opened. Then when they did the after they released the album 13, and they did the couple of shows, I went to one of those, and no way was that even as close to being as good as the one in the 90s. So to me, Pantera at their height, opening for Sabbath, I don't care how long ago it was, that was it. With the original band, the original Black Sabbath, all members, and Pantera opening, dude, it friggin', I went to see him 3 times, and he killed every friggin' night. It was amazing. So this was nice. It was a nice tribute to the old geezer that was, drinking, Drano, and probably taking every drug he knows and he doesn't know of. And I've never partied with him. I've run into him drunk. He was wasted and I was wasted. Where was that? Probably in Hollywood. Trying to think. Because there was Ozzy, and I met him several times when Randy was in the band because they kept coming to California, and every time they'd come to California, Randy wanted to go to his house. And Ozzy was like, I really want to go to meet your family and see how it is just to sit in a family house. He wanted that feel. He was going through the divorce still with Thelma. Thelma Osborne, Sharon Arden, S.A.T.O. Sharon Arden, Thelma Osborne, S.A.T.O. That's what that song's about. Like it or not. But even then, they had to, Bob had to keep it very vague. But it sounded S.A.T.O. Because I always thought, oh, that's got to be some kind of devil thing. No, it was just hell. It was his wife, who he did not want to leave for this lady, this woman. And Sharon Osbourne was she was a cow. That's what they called her in England, a cow. And she was a cow. And to show you how human Randy was, Randy probably did sleep with her, and he was thinking, you know what, I'm drunk, she's drunk, she's the manager, so I might as well get in good with the manager. Because Randy could get any girl he wanted. He wasn't like, he wasn't like the kind of guy that got tons of chicks, like David Lee Roth just had 20 girls around him, and he didn't pay him. He was like that because he put off that friggin' vibe at his height. In the 90s, he couldn't get a homeless woman to pee on him. Oh, poor guy. And now when people see him, they're just like, ah! Because he just showed, David Lee Roth spotted. And I'm like, whoa! He needs spots on him. That guy should just walk around with no shirt on all the time so the tattoos take away from everything else. Because he just looks like a mad old man now. And he is a mad old man. He's very bitter and sad. I'm going to quit talking because I gotta go pretty quick. There was some good in there, and there was some other stuff. I was just messing around. You know, I'm like, oh, there's Flying High. Oh, I'm going into Crazy Train. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. So, there you go. See, the trouble is I listened to the damn song, and I haven't heard that song in the album version. I watch that stupid, you know, they do this animated video that they paid a guy probably like $500 to do. Here, make a video. Do animation, and then, you know, just, you know, guitars swirling around and pictures of Ozzy and Randy floating around, and stupid. Do something. Like, that kind of makes me mad. It kind of makes me want to just put out a video and just get it over with, but I can't afford to lose this house. Sharon threatened me legally. Threatened me. That's why people go, well, if you don't have it, why don't you just put it out? Why don't you put out little 10-second spots? Why don't you fucking find Sharon and go up to her and ask her, and she will tell you. She'll say, we don't have it. If we had it, we'd put it out. That's the answer. And when she said that to me, I said, wonder if I told you I have several complete pro shot shows that your dad's company shot, and they gave them, or were going to give them, or did. I don't know. See, that's the whole thing. Is did Don Arden shot a lot of the shows? A lot. He shot I don't know how many shows. 20. That's a lot. 20 shows in the first 3 months almost of a tour is a lot of shows. But he wanted it put together because they recorded 3 entire shows from the Blizzard tour and 3 from the Diary tour. And they gave the 3, you know, the 3 that are out, the one that was put out for the tribute, and then they snaked the friggin' solo from King Biscuit and put it in there. So that's one. The other one was that album they put out, Ozzy Live. That's 2. Wasn't the full concert either. And the third one was they put out with the box set that was several years ago with the polka dot and the cross and all the horse shit. And there was a place in there for a DVD, and they were trying to get it done, and they couldn't do it. And you know, so if you saw the stupid Black Sabbath, you know, kickoff, see ya, the Ozzy You're Gonna Die tour or show, Rhodes family wanted to put up more because people send them a lot of stuff. And I told them, you know, I have shows.